Hey guys, JB here sharing my review of acoustic foam panels from ArrowZoom. I will explain what these are used for, how I installed them, share a few audio recordings to demonstrate the difference that they make in my office, and share my overall thoughts on the product. Full disclosure, ArrowZoom sent me this product free of charge for the purpose of reviewing and sharing it here on my channel. So you may be wondering, what are acoustic panels? What are these used for? Why am I watching this video on your channel? So at the most basic level, acoustic foam panels are used to absorb sound. There are some acoustic products that absorb sound and some that diffuse sound. These are used to absorb sound. This is super useful when you're recording audio in a room where there is a lot of echo. And in most rooms, if they're not filled, there's going to be plenty of echo, no matter how big they are. As some of you may know, my desk used to be in a huge open room with wooden floors, so the echo on my microphone was crazy. I recently upgraded my microphone to an Electro-Voice RE20, which is what you're listening to now, and I also moved into another apartment with an office and a carpet on the floor, so the echo was already really reduced. But still, even after applying some audio effects like you're listening to now, I have issues with echo. I just have it on my mic. This is where acoustic treatment comes in. Whether you're doing vlogs, recording music, or uploading gameplay commentary like I do, acoustic treatment will give you less echo and overall a better listening experience for your viewers. That's something that I always worry about, and even though I use studio monitor headphones, and maybe not all people listening to my videos use those, I still hear that on my end, and so that was always an issue for me. And in many cases, this can be a better solution than spending a lot of money on a microphone if you're having some audio issues. If you're wondering, is my mic bad? Sometimes it's other things like your environment. ArrowZoom was kind enough to send me 48 5x5 centimeter squares to treat my own home recording office. So let's go ahead and look at the installation process that I went through. First things first, I had to decide where I wanted to place my acoustic foam because there's a ton of empty wall space in my office. That's because I moved recently and I really don't have much to put on my walls if I'm being honest. So I decided to cover the largest empty space in my office with the majority of the foam that I was sent, and then fill in some other empty spaces with the rest. Along with the foam, ArrowZoom sent some adhesive strips to attach the panels to the wall to make sure they stayed on. And I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't find these to be super useful, so I had to go out to the store to grab some poster command strips that would be easy to move and wouldn't damage my walls. If I didn't like the formation or anything, I could just take these off and reapply them just like that. This definitely wasn't the best solution for permanent adhesion and keeping it on the wall, but again, I rent this place. I don't own this place, so I didn't want to tear up the wall. I wanted to be able to move things around. Also, if you guys are worried about getting everything to line up properly and making sure it looks good, then I definitely recommend you get some painter's tape like I had to map out your dimensions. That's what I did since I had such a large open area of wall to work with. I measured everything, put some painter's tape down, and used that kind of as a guide in order to make sure I had everything in the right place. So that's definitely something that you should do. It took me about an hour to put everything up and make sure everything was kind of right and as nice and neat as it could be, but this is the end result after I was done. What I did is I placed 4 of the 5x5 centimeter squares together to form 12 large squares. To me, it just didn't make sense to spread out all of the smaller squares. That wasn't the look I was, going for in my office. So this method made the most sense to me. Half of the foam pieces that I received were made out of a nice, sturdy foam material. They were even darker in color compared to the rest, which, as you can tell, I placed on my most visible wall. I wanted that wall to look the nicest. Unfortunately, the other half of the foam seemed to be made out of a different kind of material that was more flimsy and refused to stay on my wall without some extra tape. And that same half also wasn't cut into straight lines. Some of them were kind of curved, some of them were just on a different angle, which makes some of my larger squares not look very clean, which for me, I'm pretty OCD about that kind of thing and the way things look and the presentation of it all, so that's something that I definitely noticed. I don't know if these smaller squares are made to be put into these bigger squares like I did, but since this is what I went with, I definitely noticed that, and things may have turned out differently if I had received the 10x10 centimeter panels instead of the smaller 5x5 set. That's something you can definitely order, but again, I was sent the 48 pieces of 5x5 centimeter acoustic foam. Now let's talk about the most important part. Does the foam actually work? Does it make a difference with the audio? So I'm going to play 2 sets of audio completely unedited. If you have a pair of headphones, you should really put them on because it's probably going to be hard to hear the difference if you don't have headphones. So here they are. This is an audio recording without ArrowZoom acoustic foam. This is an audio recording without ArrowZoom acoustic foam. This is an audio recording with ArrowZoom acoustic foam. This is an audio recording with ArrowZoom acoustic foam. It's a very slight difference, and I think that's a lot to do with my incredible mic, but if you have studio monitor headphones like I do, you can clearly tell the difference. It really is night and day, and again, that's just raw audio. I haven't touched that except for bumping up the gain, because I have to do that in order for you to actually hear it, for it to be an acceptable volume. So again, there's clearly a difference there. When my voice goes up, when my audio levels go up and I say something like without, especially in that example, you could hear the echo, but afterwards, you can't hear that same echo. It's also worth noting that this product is flame retardant. It doesn't mean that it's flame resistant. It will still catch on fire, but you can put it out very quickly just with your breath, as I showed off in this little clip here. Overall, I'm definitely happy with the difference that ArrowZoom's acoustic foam panels made on the quality of my audio in my home office. Acoustic panels were something I always planned on investing on at some point, but I never really pulled the trigger. Now that I have an office, it made sense, and these panels really do their job. My one gripe with the product is the quality of half of the foam that I received and the fact that it wasn't cut very well. Again, that issue may have been solved if I was sent the 10 by 10 centimeter panels instead of the 5 by 5, and kind of what I plan to do with my office space, but that really wasn't up to me. I kind of just did what I could do with what I received. And again, I'm OCD about, the way stuff looks in general, but this foam gets the job done. It's supposed to improve the quality of your audio and reduce echo, and it certainly has done that in my office, and it's reasonably priced for what you get. If you're interested in picking up some acoustic treatment for your office recording setup, visit ArrowZoom.com and use coupon code AZ-JV for 10% off of all of their products. You'll find many different sizes, styles, and color combinations that you just can't find in traditional outlets like going to the store. You're not going to find the same selection. I personally went with all black and the panel sort of design, but you can get pyramids and many other different styles on that site as well. That's it for my review of ArrowZoom's acoustic foam panels. I hope this was helpful for some of you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Talk to you all next time.